So let's go to the reasons behind the fear. Some people say heredity plays a role. It kind of makes sense to me because there are people in my family who pass out and who vomit when they're in the presence of medical care. A bad experience, once bitten, twice shy. That's, behavior is learned. So you have a bad experience, a dog bites you, you're afraid of the dog. I had some bad experiences as a pediatrician, where the pediatrician basically eventually just held me down. Nurses held me down. My parents held me down because I needed the shot. They needed to go to their next patient, and it kind of instilled in me a bit of a fear, a lot of fear. And finally, it's in our DNA. So it's actually part of something called a flight or fight response to have a fear reaction. And in many cases, it's what keeps us alive. I'm comparing the caveman, way back, to the phobic man. And the thing is that if a caveman is out hunting one day for a rabbit, and he comes upon a bear, and the bear gets on its hind legs, and that bear wants to eat him, this response kicks in. You're sure you've heard it. Fight or flight. But either way, your body is amping up to either punch, kick, or run to the hills. And something very similar is happening in a phobic response. If you're the caveman and you have an accelerated heartbeat, you're going to get power to punch somebody out. But if you're me and I'm sitting waiting for one of you to come talk to me, and I have an accelerated heartbeat, I'm just getting cranky. I have nowhere to put that energy. I'm afraid I'm going to have a heart attack, and many people do think they will have a heart attack. There's accelerated breathing. For the caveman who's going to run or fight, it provides the lung capacity to run. For me, I start to hyperventilate and I get dizzy. What am I going to do with all that air? I'm not using it up. The digestive system shuts down. Sounds crazy, but purging makes us light on our feet. It's a mechanism that was embedded in our beings so that we could run or so that we could fight. For me, I either get nausea, I don't vomit, I have to go to the bathroom. And a redirection of blood flow is so cool. The blood actually flows away from the face, hands, and feet when you're in this mode. Because if you're going to get injured, those are the areas you could lose a lot of blood. So the body protects itself when you're in that flight or fight mode. But when you're having a phobic response, what happens is, right, you get pale, your fingers get tingly, kind of numb and clammy, so do your feet. I get that all the time, and it's because of that redirection of blood flow. And the activation of sweat glands, which is also pretty cool. It moderates your body temperature, and it helps you sweat, actually, because you have all this stuff going on inside. You want to get rid of, you want to sweat it out, but to a phobic person, you just end up feeling really clammy and bad. So that's the difference between having this fight or fight when you're really in a danger mode and having it kind of misfire when you're a phobic patient. So when you're a doctor and you see somebody kind of freaking out, I mean, this is what's going through them physically. It's not just mentally, it's also physically, and it's a scary process. So I'm going to give you some tips that worked for me. I mean, I have been through cognitive behavioral therapy for this. Obviously, I'm not a therapist, but I can share with you what I learned. Try to be the person who tears down the wall between the phobic patient and the doctor. And if you think that you can't do it because you're just one person, you're wrong, because Stephanie Burnett did it for me. And she helped me see that there are other healthcare providers who could do it too. And if I saw someone who I thought kind of couldn't, then I felt with somebody else. It really was helpful to me, and this doesn't seem like a big deal, to take off the white coat, because it sort of brings down that shield, like, hey, I'm a person too, I have Starbucks, I go to the gym. People who are afraid of doctors, they see them differently. They see them, they're sort of intimidated. And if you take off the coat, maybe you're just a little more like me. Making eye contact. You know, if you're on an airplane and you're afraid of flying, you watch that stewardess like a hawk. Because you're like, okay. And if they're smiling, everything's okay. If not, you're like, oh my God, she knows something. And it's the same. It's the same for a phobic patient. So try to smile. I know everyone has a bad day, and it's tough, but it is really, really helpful. Asking questions is really great. Like, hey, we're new to each other. Have you ever had a bad experience in home care? Is there anything we might do today that you might be afraid of, that you want to talk about? How can I help you feel more comfortable? And please listen to the answers. Because the answers can help you figure stuff out. Like if someone says, well, I really hate it when you do so-and-so. What would help you? I don't know. Do you like music? Maybe you can put your iPod in while your earbuds in and listen to some music while you do that. There are certain ways that you can sort of make the situation a little more comfortable. And when possible, try to offer consultations. So if you have your own practice one day, it would be nice if you could make it the norm to have your receptionist ask a new patient whether or not they have a phobia, or you can offer a 15-minute consultation to any new patient before an exam and just have that part of your repertoire and ask them if they have any issues. Try not to squeeze them in because they'll feel rushed. And you'll feel rushed because you'll see I can't help this person in the time allotted, and it's just going to be a recipe for failure. The pressure to perform under a tight deadline for me was always daunting. If I had to go to the cancer center and have my blood drawn, and then had to see my oncologist right after, they would give me a half-hour window. Go to the lab and have your blood drawn and go see an oncologist. And I couldn't. I couldn't have my blood drawn in a half hour. It was such a long process for me. In the beginning, it involved a lot of crying, a lot of begging the person not to do it, a lot of emotional turmoil. I made my appointment the day before, and I became friendly with the nurses there, and they knew me, and I would say, when is your slowest time? And then I would go in during the slowest time. So it's a lot of like back and forth, talking, let's figure out what works for everyone here. I think also, if you know that somebody's a little afraid, scheduling them as your last patient is kind of helpful because you're not under pressure of somebody right after. And the phobia patient is under pressure. I was always nervous. Like when Dr. Brady would say, well, I'll go see someone else and then I'll come back, and I'd be like, oh, the other person probably hates me, they're in the other room and they're hearing me and I'm slowing you down, I'm slowing them down. So, I mean, it is on their mind too. Try not to compare them to other patients. So I used to scream when I had my blood pressure taken at first. I didn't like that feeling. And one nurse was like, oh my God, I never heard that before. And it was embarrassing to me. And another time I went into the chemo center and I needed a shot. And a particular nurse usually would give me my shot because she kind of knew me and we built up kind of buddy system there. And she wasn't there that day. So another nurse was scheduled for me named, I won't say her name actually. Another nurse was scheduled to give me my shot, and I hadn't dealt with her before. So I said to the receptionist, can I go with Marianne instead, because she doesn't really know me, and I just need a little extra help on this, and it was just easier. And that nurse overheard me, and I heard her say, oh my God, what a big deal, just because you need a little shot? And you know what? I've been through a lot. I was going through chemo at the time, and I've come a really long way. I mean, in the beginning, I couldn't even walk in there on my own to say I need a shot. It would be torture. But then I got to the point where I could just go in and go, okay, well, let's do this shot, but you know what? I need the extra help of having that person I know do it, because that's where I am at this point. So, you can't really compare people to other patients who could just walk in and do it, because we're kind of not. We're not like the other patients. Triggers and associations are really big. So I told you about the cold alcohol on my chest that Dr. Berta warned me about. And she said, you'll have a brownish, and then you'll have a cold alcohol, and you might smell it, you might feel something. And I was very happy she said that, because alcohol is actually a trigger of mine when I smell rubbing alcohol. I passed out in first grade because we were getting a hearing test. They put alcohol on the pads. And I smelled the alcohol, and it reminded me of the doctor, because a doctor puts alcohol on before you get a shot, and I passed out. I passed out in the subway, because I was reading. I smelled something that was not right to me. It made me upset, it made me feel nauseous. And I looked up, and there was a nurse standing over me. And I guess she kind of smelled like the hospital. And it was a familiar smell to me. And this was before cancer. And I started to feel sick. So these associations, they'll help you understand what bothers a person. We got to a point where I got it, and the nurse got it, and she said, here's the alcohol pad, you put it on yourself. And that gave me a sense of control that wasn't a big deal to the nurse. Here's the alcohol pad, make sure your hands are clean, do the alcohol, and then we go on with the blood test. And it worked for both of us. Try to find out where local cognitive behavioral therapists are in your area. I went to see one, and we sort of worked together. Okay, what's your next appointment? What does it entail? What does the doctor have to do? I don't know, let me ask the doctor. Go ask the doctor. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Go back to the therapist. Okay, what bothers you about that? What can the doctor do to help you? What can you do to help you? And so you work together as a team. We talked about helping a patient prep. Dr. Bernick helped me prep by explaining what was gonna happen during that biopsy, and it went on for many, many of my